Let's take another look at the markets, where the Dow is down again over 1,000 points right now. It comes as China announced retaliatory tariffs in response to President Donald Trump's sweeping plan. China will impose a 34% tariff on imports of all U.S. products starting on April 10th. Meanwhile, the Trump administration continues to promise the long-term gain will be worth it. We heard from Secretary of State Marco Rubio on tariffs before he left Brussels today. Watch.
I don't think it's fair to say economies are crashing. Markets are crashing because markets are based on the stock value of companies who today are embedded in modes of production that are bad for the United States. We have to be a country that thinks we're the largest consumer market in the world, and yet the only thing we export is services. And we need to stop that. We need to get back to a time where we're a country that can make things, and to do that we have to reset the global order of trade.
The other part of my question.
Well, the worst thing is to leave it the way it is forever. I mean, this just can't continue. We can't continue to be a country that doesn't make things. We have to be able to make things to provide jobs for Americans. That's it. It's that simple. China is an example. I mean, it's outrageous. I mean, they don't consume anything. All they do is export and flood and distort markets, in addition to all the tariffs and barriers they put in place. So the president rightly has concluded that the current status of global trade is bad for America and good for a bunch of other people, and he's going to reset it, and he's absolutely right to do it.
And as far as the president's plan, a minimum baseline tariff of 10% on all U.S. trading partners goes into effect tomorrow. But countries that charge the U.S. over 10% in tariff will be hit with a reciprocal tariff on top of the 10%. And that actually happens next Wednesday. And we have team coverage before those tariffs officially kick in. CBS News Morning Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady, she is watching the markets and the new job numbers that we just got today. But first, let's get to CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman. Willie, happy Friday to you. The president is already posting today about the economy. What exactly is he saying?
Hey there, Mugo. Happy Friday to you as well. That's right. The president is posting about these job numbers that we saw. More than 200,000 jobs created. He posted on Truth Social earlier this morning. He said, great job numbers, far better than expected. It's already working. Hang tough. We can't lose, with a few exclamation points there. The president is also chiming in about these retaliatory tariffs coming from China. Those tariffs as set by the Chinese government at 34%, retaliating for the 34% tariff hike that the U.S. has put on Chinese imported goods here to the United States. And the president chimed in about that as well. He said China played it wrong. They panicked. The one thing they cannot afford to do. This comes as the stock market is just reeling from these retaliatory tariffs and baseline tariffs that the White House announced earlier this week. The White House and the president included are pitching this as a period of reset, that at the end of the day, that this will be better for the U.S. economy down the road. The president also talked about a timeline during a gaggle on Air Force One yesterday. He mentioned it will take like about a year or two, essentially, for those factories to come back here to the United States. That's been part of this economic push coming from the White House and the president, that the United States needs to bring those jobs back here to the United States, bring those factories back here, produce that product here. And the president has also alluded to the fact that he's potentially open to negotiation, that if a country can give the U.S. a deal, that perhaps there is some wiggle room in terms of those tariffs that are set to go into place tomorrow, as you mentioned, and next week as well, Mugo.
And Willie, before we let you go, we are learning President Trump fired the head of the National Security Agency, who also leads the U.S. Cyber Command, and several other top officials. They were fired as well. What exactly do we know about all this?
Yeah, that's right. We're learning that General Timothy Hall has been fired, has been let go from his position. We're also learning that at least 6 NSC staffers, the National Security Council, was in charge of implementing the president's foreign policy, any national security type of situation. Staffers there were let go as well. Now, this follows a meeting, an Oval Office meeting with President Trump, with Laura Loomer, who is a far-right activist and podcaster, a conspiracy theorist, many would know as well, as follows that meeting where she presented some evidence. It's unclear what evidence was presented in terms of those evidence against those staffers saying that they're not necessarily loyal to President Trump. This is significant because this is the first series of significant numbers of people being fired during the Trump administration in terms of those in the White House complex and those who work at the highest levels of the president's national security apparatus. Of course, the White House has worked to downsize the federal government. That is a separate situation, but still, nonetheless, this is a significant development. Mugo.
All right, Willie James Inman, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time.